In unison, we all entered the guest chambers. The room was large enough to fit all bodies. It was composed of a dark-colored wood called walnut. There were beds, hay piles that resembled sleeping bags, several chairs, and a fireplace. The viceroy locked the door behind him. He stationed guards behind the doorway. The four maidens, the Jester, Rayloth, Storm, Sam, Mark, Old Wounds, and myself, chose to rest by the hay piles and architecture. There were some tensions between the two demonic men and the rest of the group. The enemy sat at the other side of the room and observed us closely. I could have fought the Jester right here, but it didn't seem right. As everyone got comfortable on the hay pile, I asked the Jester, why don't you use some of your magic to blast your way out of this imprisonment?
Now, where would the fun be in that? Why don't you blast us out of here, huh?
I want to see my home first before I go down, but that will most likely not happen, I said, causing the Jester's eyebrows to raise. Brutus will go down before me.
You could use that solar storm of yours right here, right now. I must say, Clay Allison, your powers in the mystical arts are not only impressive, but also very, very dangerous.
Thank you, he snickered. At this point, the four maidens fell asleep, and Storm covered them with several blankets that were available in the guest room. He kept a close eye on Rayloth and Janister. Sam, Old Wounds, and Mark fell into a slumber involuntarily. They were beyond exhausted, and therefore rested on the hay pile like the others. We could hear and feel the engines of the astral arc igniting. There was a great vibration that echoed amidst the guest room. It was a soothing noise. At this time, I could feel gravity attempting to push us down into the surface of Ligonium Nick. However, the spaceship pushed us upward with its impressive force. The engines turned downward and pushed the vessel into an airborne state. There was a slight turbulence, but the ship was so big that all of its internal structure was unaffected. The chairs, hay piles, tables, fireplaces, and all other architecture remained stationary. Soon, we would reach space, but before we did, the Jester could not keep his eyes off me. He stared me down deliberately as a form of intimidation.
With a man of your stature, you could easily rule all the worlds. Force everyone down on their knees to worship you. Yet, you stand down as the people you once trusted turned on you. Why?
Patience, I responded. The time for retribution will come. The Jester squinted his eyes as if he didn't approve of my attitude.
Do you believe there is good and evil, Sir Allison?
Yes, I'm looking at evil right now.
Ha 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 ha. I don't blame you for perceiving me as that. In fact, I made a choice a long time ago to turn into the being I am today. It was betrayal after betrayal that led me down this dark path. And you know what's so fascinating about it all. It made me more powerful than I could have ever possibly imagined. Ha ha ha.
I temporarily looked at Storm, who I realized also fell into a slumber. Rayloth, too, submitted to his human need for sleep, despite having been turned into a crystallized statue a long time ago.
Ah, yes. Looks like it's just you and I now, Clay Allison.
Don't think about doing anything stupid.
Oh, come on. We could try to sneak out of here and kill off the guards one by one. I could make us both invisible and then boom! We overtake the ship and go anywhere we please.
You're almost making this sound romantic.
I think it would be fun! Imagine the face on Brutus knowing all of his men suddenly disappeared, huh?
Why did you kill that woman in the market district? What did she ever do to you?
I am looking for someone special. Someone I was very close with a long time ago. Someone, dare I say, called a lover at some point.
I think I know where this is going.
Ha ha! Ah. Well then, if you already know what happens, I guess I'll just fall asleep like the rest, desperately hoping you won't kill me in my sleep.
Tell me.
I will start from the beginning.
He enlightened me about his past and where he came from. He told me the story about Zevereth and his brothers who he formerly trusted. He told me about Harley and Cicero. I had no idea. He told me about his upbringing as an orphan and living on the streets, desperately trying to make ends meet at age 16. He told me about Xavier's betrayal and how he rose to become Zevereth, who eventually caused his covenant to fall. Everyone was asleep at this point, but I listened carefully and attempted to understand the psychology behind evil.
So, there you have it. Now you know why I am the way I am. And now, you and I sit here in these chambers after having experienced the most grueling adventure. Who would have thunk? Aha.
I am sorry you had to go through that.
I've killed many times, Clay Allison. And sometimes, yes, I've killed poorly. My heart is as cold as the ice you've just witnessed at my place of home. But do you blame me? I've had to kill to make ends meet. To separate emotion from murder is something I had to work on for years. It's not that I don't care. I just am a trained killer that has found an interest in the mystical arts. That's all.
But why kill that woman?
The person I'm looking for. They're a talented shapeshifter. The best, dare I say. Their footsteps led to the towers of the 10th star, your home. I thought they had shifted into that woman. So I killed her to make ends even.
Was it actually the person you were looking for?
Probably not. But why not stir up some trouble to make them realize I'm still very much alive?
After this sentence, I could have sworn he was responding to a voice I could not hear.
Besides, I've heard of the legends uttered around. Spicy news, if you will. Kingdom after kingdom. I have heard of a young man who ascended the throne of Sirengard. The fact that this happened in the times of the Red March is most fascinating. You know, I became curious, and I wanted to test this kid's mettle myself.
My mettle?
Precisely. I am 2,000 years old. I've survived this long given my unfortunate condition. But at least I came this far to meet someone like you. Someone who has the ability to end me. A worthy opponent. I've never seen anything like you. You know, I can show a tough act, but deep down in my cold heart, you terrify me.
Am I supposed to be flattered?
I killed just as much as you have killed, Clay Allison. But have you ever thought about what makes a living being evil? You protect your people from evil. But have you ever considered why your enemy is the way he is? You mindlessly face foe after foe, but never considered that they too come from an unprivileged and unfortunate background. Remember that next time you kill someone. Never forget that your enemy too is human. Think about my maidens. Before realizing what they truly were, you had no problem inciting violence into their lives. Little did you know that they fell under my aggressive curse a long time ago. An illusion I have created for someone like you, Clay Allison. When you realized what they were, however, you stopped attempting on their lives. Why? Because you realized their humanity. Free creature and monster is a little human on the inside. I've victimized my maidens, yes, but I also love them. I provided for them, and in turn, they shielded me from danger. After all, they are my girlfriends, people I can kiss, hug, and embrace with my heart. It's something I've always wanted. Love. Something I never knew was possible for me.
You hurt people, Jan. You do it out of your own internalized notion of rejection by the world, a rejection you felt by your own parents and the society that marginalized people like you, which is why you joined the assassin clan. You killed because deep down, you felt victimized by the world, and naturally, you wanted power, because you came from a place of powerlessness.
Presto! Now that's a pretty meme. Ha 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 ha!
In a sense, you are a victim, yes, but you know what separates good from evil?
Do enlighten me.
They don't pass on their experience as a deliberate...
Ha ha ha!
They don't pass on their experience as a deliberate tool for abuse.
I applaud you. We just solved the greatest mystery of our time, Sir Allison. The greatest mystery of violence and those who perpetrate it. Bravo! Maybe we're both the same.
I'll think about that.
Well, this was fun. Ha 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 ha! If there is time, we should do this again. Solving the mysteries of our time is nothing but fascinating. Perhaps one day, we might even teach our philosophy to our predecessors, so that they, too, can avoid creating the monsters of our time. Anyway, I bid you adieu, Clay Allison. I will go to sleep now, and hopefully, we don't end up dead by the time we awake.
Good night.
Good night. And just know, I am here and always will be.